Welcome to Simply Joy by Kristen. I'm Kristen and I'm so glad you are here. I am so excited for today. It's May, it's spring and summer, in the air, and it's like, well, what do you create during this season, right? Well, I decided, let's just do favorites. Why not, right? So the favorites are gonna vary. I think it's gonna maybe be a 3-part series, maybe like one each month. But don't hold me to it. I'm just gonna see how it goes. But I'm choosing favorite things I wanna create, or favorite supplies, or favorite inspirations, and I'm gonna share them with you. And so today we're gonna do frames and florals. Not to say that I don't have other favorites that are intertwined in here, but those two are gonna be the focus. Sometimes they'll overlap, sometimes they'll be separate. But you know what? Let's get started. How this all got started was I went into my stash and I was like, oh, what do I want to create? And I was drawn to my frames. And so I found 12 mini frames. All of them, I would say 4x6, 5x7 is the largest, and then they went all the way down. You saw how itty bitty they were. And I just grouped them. I planned like which ones we were going to have book pages, what was going to have transfers, etc. And then I was like, wait a minute, what if I create a favorites series? And so that's what I am working on. And I went with frames and florals. And so it is combining things that I absolutely love and creating with them, because this is the time of year to do that. And I started with the gold brass frame and a transfer, and I had to cut to manipulate it. Or this one I found on my birthday scavenger hunt, and it was just so pretty as is. I just put some floral paper in it, and whoever decides to take it home can put whatever they want in it. Or this beautiful wood frame that I couldn't decide if I wanted plain sheet music or a hymn. Spoiler, I went with a hymn, and I love the contrast of the wood with the vintage sheet music. I think it turned out so lovely, and I can't wait for both of them to find a new home. So while we are talking about favorites, I thought it would be fun to talk about some of my favorite tools and supplies. So let's start with the Ladybug vacuum. It is my little desk vacuum, and it comes in so handy. Next are two of my very favorite backgrounds, and that is watercolor paper and vintage sheet music. They are both things that I always want to have in stock. Number 4, this is something that's also always on my desk, and that's baby wipes. You probably have seen me grab for them or used them for wet distressing. Number 5 and 6 are in almost every video that I create. That is DIY's liquid patina and the famous gold paint marker. Well, that's a wrap on the ones I am sharing today. Let's get back to creating. As I was collecting all of the frames, I came across these blank art journals that I was always going to decoupage flowers on, specifically the rice paper from Connie, the painted photographer. And I was like, well, why not do it? I could do frames and florals as my favorites. And that's kind of where this series really started to unfold, that this wasn't just going to be a one video. It was going to have multiple parts, because I have way too many favorites to cover in just one video. So I painted the back of the rice paper white. I did that so that they could stay nice and bright. I stamped both the front and the back of the journal because the rice paper didn't fully cover and I wanted to create some interest. And then I decided it needed something more. So my finishing touches were little inspirational stickers from Tim Holtz that I did glue down because I didn't want the stickiness on the sticker to be the only thing adhering it down. And I added some sori silk, but before I did that, I really wanted to flatten them back out before they were ready to go. Do you ever have damaged frames like on the back where the sticker pulls it up or it got scuffed up? Well, I took some black paint and I pounced on it so that the texture that is normally on the back of the frame stayed the same, and I think it disguised it pretty well. Not perfect, but I do think I improved it. If you've been counting, I've only done 3 out of the 12 frames, so let's do 4 more. I took one of the transfer books from the last IOD release and I picked out little images that would fit into the frames. 3 of them happened to be flowers and 1 was a cute little butterfly. I think that they fit their frame so well. Let's talk about the purple one. The purple one didn't have glass, and so that one I did put liquid patina on it to protect it. The rest of them I didn't worry about it because I knew the glass would protect it. Also with the purple one, I had the front of it, but the back was damaged, and so I thrifted one that had a damaged front so that I could use the back. As long as the price is right, taking parts from one and putting them together, I think is a great way of saving some of these pieces and giving them a second story. On one of my trips to Care and Share in their pay by the pound, I was able to find multiples of a few different, I'm going to call them blanks. So these 3 I found in the pay by the pound. So I did not pay the $9.99 that you saw listed. I think I probably paid around $1 a piece. I just showed you that I taped down the string so it would not be in my way while I prepped it. I painted the back black because that is one of my favorite ways to cover up an image and almost start fresh. You can do white, but I feel like sometimes you have to do multiple coats when you do white, so I choose to do black. Now, my original plan was to do this with all 3. I ended up only doing this with 2 of them and setting 1 aside. So I covered it with some sheet music and I took out 2 of Connie's papers that were floral. These are from a couple years ago, and I knew as soon as I saw these blanks at the thrift store, they would be a perfect way to showcase her beautiful rice paper. So this one, I just put the sheet music, I did the rice paper, and then I, of course, topped it off with the gold pen. Now, I went one more step with the daisy one, just because I felt like there was space to add some words. But let me tell you, the way that the music comes through with these papers is stunning. It is absolutely stunning, and I would recommend trying it out. So originally I was thinking, with the daisies back in the day, he loves me not, he loves me. Do you remember that? Or is it just me? So I had this idea in my head and I was working through, and then I finally decided, you know what? I don't want to use those. I want to use So Loved. And I'm very, very happy with my change of wording. Let's upcycle 4 more of those frames, which will put us at 11 of the 12. These 4 frames, I went with a book image instead of a transfer. However, I am still using the watercolor paper. I feel like it is the perfect consistency to use as a backing for these thin book pages. I tried really hard not to take away from the image on the back side. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but I traced it out. A thing to keep in mind, especially when you are working with vintage frames, is they're not perfectly square in the angles. And so, it's good to test out. Sometimes you have to take a little extra off or tape something in place, but just work with them because I think they're worth giving a second story. I really truly love the look of the vintage frame with book pages. These definitely were a favorite to make. Do you remember I set one of these aside? Well, let's get back to it. I was so inspired by this transfer booklet when I was working with it earlier. I wanted to use one of the larger flowers. However, I just felt like it needed a special music background. And so I went through this one. I love the tone, the color of it, but I was specifically looking for a title of a song or lyrics or something that would give the feeling I was going for, the vibe I was going for, and I think I hit it right on the note. Pun intended. Anyways, I decoupaged it down. You will notice that there is a spot at the top, and that's what it was when I pulled it out, and I just went with it. And then I added this gorgeous purple, shades of lavender transfer. I also added in a couple dragonflies and a butterfly, and it's just beautiful. I absolutely love how this one turned out. A week or so ago, I was doing some organizing of my space, and I was reconnected with a couple items that I was hanging on to, and one of them was this worn wallpaper from Tim Holtz, and the second was this assortment of paper dolls that I had thrifted, and they really inspired this last frame, the number 12 frame that I'm putting together. But as you can see, this paper doll was one that someone cut out of a magazine. Like, how special is it? This person took the time to cut her out, and then she ended up with all these other paper dolls and then ended up at the thrift store. And then I came across this baggie of them, and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. But they just gave me that warm, cozy, nostalgic feeling, and I couldn't leave them. I couldn't leave them behind. And I think this frame is perfect for them. It's the one that has the mat that is set back, and I am excited for the person that is going to give this beautiful frame a new home. Well, I am wrapping it up, and for some reason I felt like I needed to do 13 frames, a baker's dozen, and I had this really cool embroidery piece that I found on my birthday scavenger hunt, and it was floral, and I was like, perfect, a frame, florals, put it together, it's my showcase piece. And you know what? I went back and forth if I should paint the frame black or not, because I love this frame. I've had this frame for quite a few years because I couldn't part with it. It was such a special frame with the wood and the scalloped edges, and I think I was right with painting it green. I think I was right with the clear wax and the dark wax, and once you see me put this in, I think you're going to understand my vision and that it is such a beautiful piece. However, it was an older piece, and the back was very fragile, and these little pieces that hold the backing in place fell out. And so I taped it for the photos. However, it is not a long-term solution, so I am not yet sure what I'm going to do with this piece, but you're still going to see it. You're going to still see my vision, and I think you're going to love it, but it most likely isn't going to stay like this. But enjoy it and enjoy the rest of them as I give the final reveal. Hello friend, I'm so glad that you were here, and I hope you enjoyed the journey of my favorites, frames and florals. Did you have a favorite out of any of the projects that I created? I'm not sure I could narrow it down to one. I probably have 3 or 4, because wasn't there 18 pieces? I might have went a little crazy, but that's okay. That's okay. I was having fun creating my favorites. Now, I hope this inspires you to go out and create what are some of your favorite supplies or your favorite things to create, or just have fun, right? Well, it's the weekend. I hope that you have a wonderful time. Get out, enjoy the weather, enjoy the breeze, and enjoy your family and friends. Until next time.